Calling from a 509 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Alexis.
Hello, Alexis.
And
where are you calling from?
Hi. I'm calling from the unceded territory of the Spokane tribe.
Okay, fantastic.
So I'm just going to let you guys know that I am extremely exhausted this morning. I had a very long weekend at work, and that's what I wanted to call in about. And I'm going to read something that I wrote previously since my brain is just so done.
Okay.
I am a biracial indigenous activist, organizer, water protector, and mother. I've been doing grassroots community work since I visited Standing Rock in 2016. I am also now a former employee at the Spokane Comedy Club in Spokane, Washington. I've seen your guys' coverage of our right-wing sheriff, Ozzie Knezovich, and I really appreciate you guys covering that. I do some accountability work in that regard as well. So I thought you guys were the perfect organization to reach out to let you know about another bout of blatant fascism in our city. This experience was beyond any other I've seen in real life. I have worked at this club for 3 years, so I've seen hundreds of styles of comedy shows. I've heard the nastiest speech available. I've laughed at a lot of it. I've never before heard such vile and deeply disturbing content as the utter garbage that J.P. Sears was saying at all 9 of his sold-out shows this weekend. He spoke to approximately 2,700 people just in Spokane in this one weekend. He travels around the nation, putting on the same shows every weekend. He's reaching a large platform, and in my opinion, is an under the radar as a far-right leader. I have access to recordings of this, and the things that he's saying are openly fascist. He discusses, and I'm just going to give a trigger warnings because it's very violent and disturbing. It's so disturbing that I'm having a hard time eating and sleeping. So he openly talks about...
This message is for this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's okay. So he openly talks about killing trans people. He openly talks about hating people for having black skin. He talks about an upcoming civil war and wanting to shoot people. He talked about nuking Seattle and Portland. He talked about election fraud. There's more, but again, my brain is so tired from being processed through all of this garbage and the atrocious behavior of his audience.
Well, I should also just say I'm researching him a little. He has also promoted COVID-19 conspiracies, anti-mask guidelines, and claimed that vitamin D provides protection against COVID. So,
and he's got a big YouTube channel. I've never heard of this guy, but he's got a big YouTube channel. He's got almost 2.1 million subscribers, and he's getting hundreds of thousands of views on things like, is the left normalizing pedophiles? The Kyle Rittenhouse case, 7 things you should know.
And it says he's connected to the wellness community. Like, this is a little bit of, it seems to, is he satirizing wellness? Or is he?
That's how he started out. I saw him a few years ago, and his comedy has completely shifted into fascism.
Okay.
So he started out satirizing the wellness, like making fun of the kind of hippie culture. And it really didn't bother me when he was doing that kind of set. But it has completely shifted. He's openly telling people not to wear masks. He oh my God, he compared getting the vaccine to being raped, because he said it is the same thing because it's a phallic object being inserted into your body without your permission. That's literally what he said. So my next question is, how can I get all of that data to you? Because I tried to attach it to an email. I have videos and audio files, and I was...
Are you still there?
Yes.
You cut out for a minute. I mean, I don't know what I don't know exactly what we can do, but send us an email and we can, figure out some way for you to upload it to a Dropbox or something like that. I mean, I don't know what we can really do with it. Did people complain from the comedy club?
The staff, yes. The staff was extremely uncomfortable. We have several members of the staff that are the subjects of the I don't even want to call it comedy. It's not. It's inciting violence.
And is there, I mean, did you guys, did anybody else walk off with you, or did anybody else, were you fired?
I was not fired. I quit.
And did anybody else quit with you?
We've had, let's see, 3 others that recently quit because of the trend of who's being booked.
I noticed that, actually. As I'm looking at that, there's a lot of, like, maybe sometimes it's a coincidence, but you got, I know some of these, like the naughty list, I can imagine, but who is it? There was a couple of people on this list that sort of, Callan, Corolla.
Yeah.
Michael
yeah.
Rappaport.
So I did stay for this weekend because I wanted to capture the
audio.
Audio and video.
Are there others that have quit?
Yes, there are.
I mean,
most of the original staff that I started with 3 years ago, most of them are gone.
I mean, have you thought about going to, like, the Stranger? I don't know
I'm not sure what that is.
Isn't that the media out there?
Yeah, it's a Northwest thing. Like, is that Dan Savage?
Yeah.
It might. I mean, to Matt's. I mean, to Sam's point. Like,
I don't know if Spokane.
The local paper would probably have more. That definitely send it to us, but it could be. I mean, have a lot more impact.
Like always happens when this is the first time we've heard of this guy. I've never heard of him before. But there was the first time I heard of Jordan Peterson for the first time too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So. That's why I wanted to let you guys know, because I feel like no one's watching him, but he has a large platform.
Yeah, I'm shocked, to be honest with you. I mean,
and the things that he's saying what Tucker Carlson wants to say. If he dropped the dog whistles, he's just outright saying it. And the audience is cheering.
Well, this is what I would do.
It's a rally.
Send us an email, and send us an email. We'll figure out a way to get some of that material. But in the meantime, you should also you should also just let the press know that, if the comedy club is not responding to the people who are working there, right?
No, they're not. They're not responding.
And, this is, there's 2 different ways of looking at this. I mean, it's like, I can conceive of a place where this guy goes and nobody's offended, and, he's not pumping out this stuff, and the people who work there are all excited to have, whatever it is, COVID denial and, horrible things about trans people being said. And I don't know what you do in that situation, but when you have a situation where, let's put it this way, you wouldn't be able to force your employees to say, like, there are people pinching pinching me when I'm working there. And the employee could say, like, oh, you got a problem with that, you got to go. There are other things that people are doing that are putting me, if not in jeopardy, making me feel very, very, very uncomfortable. And it's a little bit scary to hear this type of talk in this situation, and maybe feeling like you don't know what the audience is going to do after this. I think you should.
It was terrifying.
Try and find somebody who writes about this stuff in either the local paper or the Stranger. I imagine there's some stories. And maybe if there's another employee who has left because of this, make it a story. I mean, this is a commercial enterprise, and they should, there's a certain amount of like commercial, there's a commercial, accountability. If they want to associate themselves with this, if they're proud about it, then they won't care. But if they, if they realize like, oh, wait a second, this is going to hurt our bottom line because, then maybe you'll see some type of accountability, or at least you'll get the ball moving. I mean, this isn't going to be, there's nothing you can do from one club in this one instance that's going to materially impact this guy. But
you know who might be interested in writing?
They own 7 clubs, I believe.
You know who might be interested in writing about this is Owen Higgins.
Owen Higgins.
It's spelled E.
Send us an email,
but
and
he has a signal. You can text him there.
We'll send us an email, and we will try and connect you
on his Twitter, or send us an email too. Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. I already sent you an email. I appreciate you taking my call, and I just wanted people to keep an eye on him because, yikes.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. What the world doesn't need is another Steven Crowder.
No, we really don't, and it's worse because he's just straight out saying all of it.
Appreciate the call. Hang in there.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Sort of related to that, after being in North Dakota for a while, we have this talk in media as if the people who are pro-mask and pro-vaccines are too minatory and, I guess, forceful of the other people. But I think in the vast majority of this country, it's people who want to get vaccinated and are afraid. People are afraid to wear masks. Like my parents are afraid to wear masks in a certain place in North Dakota because of the way you get looked at. Yeah. And it is not the other way around. Okay, like that guy got punched at like a diner because he wouldn't leave after being required with a mask. But like the actual you could get some unwanted attention if you wear masks in certain parts of this country.
Show me the protest that has like where you have like people yelling at and scaring people who work on the school board because they haven't been aggressive enough in putting masks. Where are the mass protests against like what DeSantis is doing? I mean, let's be honest which way this goes here. I mean, certainly there's no doubt you weren't wearing a mask during the height of this stuff. And certainly when I go into a place, when I go into like a pizza place or a hardware store or wherever it is, sometimes I'm the only person wearing a mask. But if I go in there and, I look at people and I'm like, really? The pandemic's over for you guys?
Yeah.
I don't say that. But if I, but
I just don't understand if you're I just don't understand in a place of business. Like I understand like you're out to dinner, you don't put your mask on, or you're at the gym or something like that. Okay. But the idea that I would be walking around a CVS and not wear a mask at this point is just, it blows my mind.